Hey there, and welcome to Doctor Sleep 2019 movie review. And the director is Mike Flanagan. He's done such movies as Oculus and Ouija Origin of Evil, both decent movies. I've seen them. The actors in this film is Ewan McGregor. He's playing Danny Torrance. He's been in such films as Trainspotting and Star Wars, as Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. A young Obi-Wan. Rebecca Ferguson from Men in Black International in 2019, The Girl on the Train from 2016, and Hercules 2014. She plays Rose the Hat. Carl Lumbly, he's from Pacific Heights, Escape from Alcatraz, and many, many more great films. He plays Dick Hallorann. And Bruce Greenwood, he's in Double Jeopardy in 1999, Star Trek 2009, Star Trek Into Darkness 2013, and also many, many more films. He is Dr. John Dalton in this film. The music score was actually fantastic. I enjoyed the music score a lot. What it's about, I'll give you an overview of that's on the back of the case of the DVD. And it is still scared by the trauma he endures as a child at the Overlook Hotel. Then Torrance faces the ghosts of the past when he meets Abra, a courageous teen who desperately needs his help and who possesses a powerful extrasensory ability called the Shine. And here's a bit of what happens. So the movie starts off with a bit of the infamous Shining music. Then the camera pans down through some trees to an RV in a campgrounds. A little girl walks out of the RV and past her mother. Her mother wonders where she is going, and the little girl replies to pick flowers. The mother then tells her not to wander too far, which is a saying I really never understood. It's like we're able to go far, just not too far. It's just, I don't know. Either way. The girl starts walking through the campground, and they show Florida 1980 pops up on the screen, letting us all know that it's a few months since the incidents at the Outlook Hotel. The girl then stops when she comes across a woman singing and sitting on a tree stump, playing with a bunch of flowers. The girl walks up to her, and the woman offers her a flower. She takes it. Then the woman tells her that only her friends call her Rose the Hat because of her hat. She tells the girl it's a magical hat and shows her a trick. Tells the girl to reach inside the hat. The girl does and pulls out a flower. They talk about it, and then the woman eats the flower in front of the girl, and the girl gets disgusted. The woman tells her that special flowers can be eaten because they taste the best. Just then, Rose the Hat's friends come walking towards them and start scaring the little girl. She tries to jerk away from Rose, but she grabs her arm and tells her to stay and see more magic. Then all of Rose the Hat's friends then run at the little girl like angry zombies, like craziness. And it goes over to the Overlook Hotel, and a young Danny Torrance, he's riding his big wheel around, and he stops at room 237. The door opens and the nasty old woman, naked woman, opens the door type thing, walks out, and Danny wakes up, and he's still a young boy at this point, and he heads to the bathroom. He opens up the bathroom door, and he sees the old woman sitting in the bathtub, and he decides to stay outside the bathroom door, and he ends up pissing himself because of it. His mother wanted to know what was wrong, but he hasn't been talking ever since the Outlook Hotel. The next day you see Danny sitting on a bench outside by himself, and he's still young, and he starts talking to the ghost of Dick Hallorann, and Dick Hallorann told Danny of a trick to lock ghosts away forever. Later that day, Danny's sitting with his mother on a couch watching Looney Tunes and decides to try the trick that Hallorann showed him, and he goes into the bathroom, and he closes the door of the bathroom, and you can hear the old woman go screaming. And then he gets back to the couch where he was sitting with his mother with a smile on his face. And the mother asks if You okay, Doc? Danny answers, yeah, I'm okay, with a big smile. And then the scene fades into an older Danny being a drunk, and it's also 2011. Danny is getting into fights, taking cash, really not living good. He still talks to Halloran from time to time. In the next scene, though, I thought was interesting. Rose the Hat is sitting now at a theater with one of her friends, and she sees a young woman sitting next to an older man. The young woman ends up putting some kind of spell on him using her shine. She messes up the guy's mind. Rose the Hat likes this and ends up taking the girl for herself. And then they finally go to Abra. Now, Abra is a really young girl at this point, and she's at a birthday party with some friends and family. They're all sitting down watching a magician. He's playing with spoons. She says she can do the same trick, and they all laugh it off. Later that day, it's cake time, and the father comes in wondering where the mother is because, she's been in the kitchen for a while, and he notices her staring up at the ceiling. And there's all their spoons is almost like just slightly touching the ceiling. And Abra pops up behind them and goes, abracadabra. And all the spoons just fall, which makes Rose the Hat kind of feel the power type thing of that. And now you're following kind of Rose the Hat again, and she's talking with the young woman that she kidnapped. But the young girl doesn't really find it kidnapping. She kind of likes Rose. And either way, Rose gets her to stay with her, and they talk for a bit. And finally, we get back with Danny. He's getting off a bus in Fraser, New Hampshire, and he's walking around the town, and he comes up to a small model of the town. A guy that's in charge of the model, he starts talking with Danny, and he kind of helps him out. He feels sorry for Danny. He gets him a place to stay and a job. In the room that Danny's in, there's a big blackboard for a wall because the last person who stayed there was a teacher, and they kind of just left a blackboard there. Then it kind of goes back to the young woman with Rose the Hat and a bunch of her friends sitting around a fire. And the stuff that happens at that time, I really don't want to say to ruin it, so I'm not. Really awesome scene and what happens there. Danny now awakes to some really weird stuff going on, like The Shining, of course. Like The Shining movie, some weird stuff like that. And he thinks it's the booze, so he goes to the AA meetings. And he talks to the doctor there that's in charge of the place, and he tells him about the lost watch that he hasn't found yet. And the guy finds the watch and invites Danny into his office, which just so happens to be, if you look properly, you'll notice it's the exact same office Danny's father was in the Overlook Hotel. The exact same. I swear, every book, everything's the same. And either way, the doctor gets Danny a job at an old folks' home as a custodian, and some really crazy things start to happen there as well. One day, Danny gets home from work, and he notices hello written on the blackboard. He later finds out that it's the little girl Abra, and he's been talking to her for a few years because now she's a teenager type thing. And Rose the Hat has really figured out where this girl is and is after her now, and she needs Danny's help. And Danny decides to help the young girl, and he decides to get help from the most unthinkable source, I should say. And what I liked about the film, it was a fresh idea mixed with some old classic ideas, and it was one of the best sequels I have seen in years, guys. Years. Would I recommend it? Yes, I really would, guys. Check this one out. But for a better watching, I find, it's just me though, but I find, watch The Shining and then Doctor Sleep. It's a really great, 4, maybe 5 hour story. It's fantastic. Well, that will be the end of this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And here is the trailer. Ciao.
to the kid.
You're magic. Like me.
I need you to listen to me. The world's a hungry place. A dark place.
Hi there.
I only met 2 or 3 people like us. They died. When I was a kid, I bumped into these things. I don't know about magic. I always called it the Shining.